Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dak Druki Chinjilop Shir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhihum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pema Ge Sarumpola Yasan Shogi Nodrune Pema June Shesudra Koru Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dak Druki Chinchilop Shir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhihum. All right. So again, we are, with our proper motivation, we are making that wish to bring immeasurable benefit to all beings and ourselves by engaging in this meditation practice today. And the meditation practice that we're doing today is called Shamatha meditation, as taught by Jetsama in her book, Stabilizing the Mind, which I brought, and I'm just going to read a little section later out of. So each week we kind of go over what is meditation, because we hear that word everywhere now. But what is it, and what's the purpose of meditation? Meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's relaxed and stable and open. It trains our mind to be this way, to be calm and relaxed, and yet also alert and wakeful. And the point of meditation, the whole point why we're doing this and why we try to do this every week, is to create more space in our mind. And what happens when we create more space in our mind? We are able to balance our emotions, balance the turbulent waves of our mind, the inflammation of our mind. And we think of all the ways our modern life is pulling our mind in this direction and that direction, our endless tasks of to-dos and people we need to take care of or things we need to take care of. And so many things are competing for that spaciousness in our mind. And we think of all the ways we try to, care for ourselves. Maybe we take vitamins or supplements, or we try to keep our body healthy. But what do we do to keep our mind healthy? How do we give our mind true rest, even the chance to have any spaciousness? So are we allowing ourselves that spaciousness and the chance for stability of mind? So meditation can help us create that buffer or that pause before we react to our external circumstance, or someone said something weird and now we're having this reaction, and how we engaged in those cyclical thoughts again and again, without creating any space. So it helps us create that buffer, that pause. And it's so important on the Buddhist path because it's the first step in developing bodhicitta, which, if we think about that, we can say, yes, we have compassion for all beings, but if we can't even have that spaciousness in our mind, how can true bodhicitta even arise if we can't even have the spaciousness to think of others, to hold equanimity in our hearts and mind? So we're going to start by getting in the proper position. So whether you're on the floor or in a chair, either way is fine. We just want to make sure we have a straight spine. So this is really a time to practice our posture. A straight spine, like your spine is lifted, but we're not overextended. Nothing about meditation is rigid, so we're not trying to overdo anything. our elbows are back, our shoulders are back. And then if it's easier in a chair, we can have our hands on our thighs or knees, or if we want to do a more traditional posture, we'll do the right hand over the left with our thumbs touching in our lap like that. And we're going to breathe as naturally as we can, and it might take a few deep breaths to get to that natural rhythm of breath. We're going to keep our eyes open but relaxed. So we're just gazing towards the floor, almost like we are drawing a line from the bridge of our nose extending out to the floor. And then we're picking a point on that line to rest our gaze. So again, we're not intently staring at the floor or I can see the wood grain here in front. I'm just gazing towards the floor in that direction, relaxing my eyes. And then we're going to keep our mouth slightly open, and we do this by putting the tip of our tongue in the back of our front teeth, like we're making the letter like L, we're saying the letter L. So it's resting there lightly, and that allows some air to come through the mouth as well. So we're gazing towards the floor. And the most important part about this, the posture, if we get that all right, that's fine, but it's when our thoughts arise. What do we do with our thoughts? So when a thought arises, we're going to do our best to just let it go. Our attention is going to be on our breath. So that is where the attention will go when a thought arises. So if a thought arises, just like a bubble, rising up to the surface of the pond, once it gets to the top of the pond, we just let it pop. We let it go. So our meditation isn't lost by having thoughts. It's lost when we go down the road with it, when we inspect those thoughts, when we judge those thoughts, or we judge ourselves for having those thoughts. Then all of a sudden we have many, many more thoughts arising from that thought if we don't catch it and let it go. So we're trying to return to the breath again and again, gently return to the breath. Our attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of our breath. This gossamer thin attention on the breath. So again, we are not trying to control it. We're just trying to observe it. And if our thoughts feel very wild today or very busy, we can imagine cutting the thoughts and throwing them out, or picking up the thoughts like with tongs and tossing the thought away. So we'll start. I'm going to bring my timer out here. We're going to start with a shorter session. And we say this every week. If you are brand new to meditation, it is not advised to begin with a very long meditation, like jumping in the deep end, going for 45 minutes. We're not trying to be meditation heroes. We're trying to be, gradually increase the stability of our mind and do it in a way that will actually, stick. So we'll try 5 minutes together. And again, on your own time, you can try a minute, 2 minutes, and gradually increase that time. So meditation is a long-term, you see the benefit in a long-term way. So it's really in our consistency that we see the stability of our mind strengthen. Okay, so we will do 5 minutes starting now. So, I want to read something from Stabilizing the Mind, and I'm trying to pull different excerpts out of here each week. And so this one, talking about how important it is to, rid our mind of all of our negative emotions and, the poisons of our mind, like hatred, greed, and ignorance, and having meditation be at the center point of that. So here's something from Stabilizing the Mind. I am not convinced that any of us are really sold on how important it is to stabilize the mind. You can see the evidence by just watching people in their lives. It is incredible to me to see how much we let ourselves get away with. It's unbelievable to me how much pride we still have, how much we are willing to live with that pride, and when we're reproached, how easily we bounce back with excuses as to why we should have that pride. It is amazing to me how we are willing to allow ourselves to be hateful, to be angry, to be moody, to be all the things and not question ourselves or not make any kind of on the spot effort to rectify the situation. Most amazing of all is how often we sell out, how many compromises we make. The sellout factor is incredible in sentient beings. We are willing to think that it is okay to hate because we have a reason. We're willing to think it is okay to be angry because we have an enemy. We are willing to think that it is okay to give this much and not too much more because we have other things to do. We think it is okay to act inappropriately, to speak inappropriately, or disrespectfully, to correctly with our practice. We just make up all these different reasons why it's okay. We defend ourselves in that way. So if I belabor the point, it is because it is important to realize it is within everyone's power to overcome pride and to overcome the negligence with which we feel with our spiritual practice and with our life. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So we'll try another. We'll increase our time. And just check here. All right, so same thing. Again, when thoughts arise, we just let them go, let them be, not follow them down the road, and just focusing on the breath, a gossamer thin attention on the breath. And another little trick that can be helpful is if you're feeling especially sleepy today, we can raise our gaze a little bit and let more light into the eyes, which keeps us more alert. Or if we're feeling like our mind is racing today, or we're very busy mind, we actually can lower our gaze a little bit more, letting less light into the eye. So actually kind of calming our thoughts more. So let's try this again. stretch or some water, you can do that. And we're going to do one more shorter session to finish. And if you'd like to continue practicing meditation throughout the week, we have many resources on our YouTube channel. So Kunzang Pelo Choling YouTube. The playlist on there, it's called Meditation Playlist, and it has many teachings about meditation, different types of meditation, and then just some techniques and tips that will help you. So that is available any day of the week. So we'll finish with a shorter time, and then we'll do some dedication prayers together. Let's see. Okay, let's try this one more time, starting now. to seal in the blessing and the merit and the virtue that we have accumulated here together doing meditation. We will do our dedication prayers. So I'll put them up on the screen. All right. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether. Whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you everyone who joined us online. Again, we'll be back next Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you can join us in person or online. And I'm going to end the